What's good, YouTube? Flash Speaks back, man. Y'all already know what it is. Another video. We have a few things to get to because we haven't been going live like we normally do. So of course we got to cover the NFL playoffs. We got 4 games coming up this weekend, 2 tomorrow and 2 Sunday, and then shortly after that is done, we're going to speak about the unleashing or the opening night of the women's basketball Unrivaled League, the 3-on-3 league that that was just started by All Stars Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart. And so we're just going to take it from the top. I have a few guests who should be coming in soon. We're going to bring them on when they do come. But for right now, we're going to get started. Matter of fact, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to switch up the way I was going to format it. Initially, I was going to start with the NFL playoffs. Matter of fact, okay, we do have someone here. So we'll start with the NFL playoffs. And then we're going to go jump into Unrivaled after that. All right, so the first game we got coming up tomorrow is the Texans, the Houston Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm going to bring Brother Solo up to the stage. All right, so with this game, this is very, very simple to me. Now, we got the Houston Texans who probably shocked some people last week defeating the Chargers. I believe I picked the Houston Texans. The brother that I brought on, I believe he did not pick the Houston Texans. No big deal. We're not going to make a big deal out of that. Nor the other brother we had on last week, who I'm still waiting for him to chime in right now. But the Houston Texans went out there, shocked some people, defeated the San Diego Chargers. I was not surprised by what happened because I have seen Justin Herbert, who was the quarterback of the Chargers, be in this situation prior. Justin Herbert is the most overrated quarterback, possibly in the NFL as a whole, besides one other guy that I'm going to talk about extensively once we talk about the Commanders versus the Lions. The absolute most overrated quarterback in the NFL, no fault of his own. But at any rate, C.J. Stroud, to make it quite simple, stepped up to the plate, though. Like many people were saying that he was supposedly so bad this year. I never really bought into that whole idea that he was like having a sophomore slump. It was more like a guy now entering his sophomore season, and then the sophomore season, as we said plenty of times before, teams are now have more of a beat on you. And they have game plans that are more specifically designed to stop you or at least exploit your weaknesses, right? And make you go to secondary or third things that you may not necessarily want to do. And I think that's what C.J. Stroud pretty much went through. But he still managed to put together a solid season. His team made it to the playoffs. I had no doubt that they would beat the Chargers because I have absolutely zero faith in Justin Herbert. When it comes to big-time games and big-time situations. You're talking about a guy who's been in the league, I believe it's 5 years now, made it to the playoffs one time, was not bereft of talent really pretty much at any point in his career. But this is just what he's done. So, I'm not surprised at that. But anyway, the Texans have a game against the Chiefs, who are coming off of a bye week. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC. Somehow that damn team, though they seem to struggle every week through tough games, they found a way. They found a way to win. Found a way to win 15 games. So I absolutely like the Chiefs in this game. We're going to go take a look at what Vegas is saying about the game. I'm sure the Chiefs are the favorite, without a doubt. If you are a betting man, like I said, it's best to listen to me because that's my thing. It's what I do. Not so much that I'm such a bettor, but I kind of know if I was to get into betting, who and what to pick. So let's take a look here real quick at the what we got. So the Kansas City Chiefs are an 8.5 point favorite in this particular game. If you're betting this game, the Chiefs will win. If you're going to go money line, that's smart. I would not bet the Chiefs with the points. I don't believe they'll cover. They haven't covered a lot this year. And if I was betting the game, honestly, I would take the Houston Texans with the points. It's very unlikely Kansas City will beat them by that much. This is going to be likely a very low scoring game. Vegas also definitely indicates that by the over under being 41 and a half. That's a tough over under. I would not be surprised if they were under. If I was forced to pick one, I would take the under with this particular game. Talking about two of the top defenses in the league. I don't think that's going to be a high scoring game at all. Kansas City, I think, will win, but they will not cover. They will not win by 8.5 points. What say you, Solo, when it comes to the Texans and the Chiefs? Are you there, my brother?
Yeah, I'm here. Um,
Okay.
this game is kind of frustrating because I can see this being, you know, the quarterback of Texas being his game to solidify his career and to start his legend if he beat Kansas City. Like everything is already there. Kansas City not that good on offense. All he got to do is score a couple touchdowns. Like this is the game that you can see him starting his legend, how he got started. So that's why it's frustrating because I can clearly see Kansas City beating as well. But I'm gonna go with Kansas City just because it's the safer pick, the obvious pick. But I wouldn't be upset if somebody go with the points in Texas
Now,
and
who you
CJ
got winning?
Stroud because I can.
Could you see the Texans winning the
Kansas.
game at all?
Uh,
Could you see the Texans winning the game at all?
Easily, I can see the Texans winning. I can see CJ Stroud solidify his legend right now in this game. Kansas City is right for the pickings. I don't think they're gonna make the Super Bowl, so I think they're gonna lose one of these rounds. Why not be the round right now? But I wouldn't put my money on it. I would just go with Kansas City.
Now you talk. You ain't putting your money on it. So you talking that stuff because you probably want them to lose, but you ain't putting up no bread.
But I would bet the points with the Texans though. I would do that.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
my
bet the
official
points.
thing. Any of y'all out there betting Kansas City's 8.5 point favorite? The Kansas City would not cover that spread. If I was to go I would either go Houston Texans with the points, or I would take the under. 41.5 points is the over under. Or Kansas City money line, which ain't gonna get you no money like that. You're talking about an 8.5 point favorite. All right, so moving right along, we ain't gonna waste a whole lot of time with that. Our next game uh, tomorrow will be the them damn Commanders and the Lions. Okay, all right. Where can I start with this here? The Washington Commanders. Okay, the Washington Redskins will go into uh, Detroit in that dome, and they're going to get their complete ass kicked. All right, that's what's going to happen. I see a game that actually the Lions are 8.5 point favorites, which makes sense to me. I would not be surprised if the Lions won by double digits, 14 points, 17 points, or anything like that. Um, they're at home. The Lions pretty much blow people out. They smoke people at home, especially teams that are not like well equipped or they're talented. And now, when you talk about the Washington Commanders, I don't buy this idea that they're not a talented team. They are a relatively talented roster. Um, and they coming in with a quarterback that is right now the most overrated player in the National Football League. Okay, and I'm not just saying this as a person that's like a hater of Washington, which I do hate Washington. Make no mistake about it. I don't like any teams in the NFC East besides the Philadelphia Eagles. But we're going to put that aside. What they're saying about this quarterback is just building the stuff of legend. This guy, I heard people in Philadelphia who cover the Eagles, Ike Reese, for example, say this guy got magic dust, right? I'm hearing Hugh Douglas, the Eagles player, who used to play for the Eagles, saying that this dude in this game against the Lions, he's the X factor. Forget about, the running back that the Lions have. Forget about them fast behind receivers they got or their experience or any of that. He's talking about Jaden Daniels is the X factor. He went so far as to say that all year the Lions haven't seen anything like Jaden Daniels. Like he's some old other kind of animal that they never seen. And people brought up, don't you know that the Lions actually played against Josh Allen? Right? This dude said, oh, they're not even him. So now you got people saying Jaden Daniels better than Josh Allen. This type of stuff that's going on now. I get some of y'all, who don't like Josh Allen because you feel like he's been overrated by the media and all of that kind of stuff. And some of us big up, the black quarterback and stuff like that. I get all that. And that's all well and good. But what I'm saying is when you really analyzing football and you're talking football, you gotta be real, you gotta be honest. Well, at least me, this is the way I see it. Okay. Number one, people are saying that Jaden Daniels is the closest thing to Lamar, which I don't completely see. Now, I get it. They do play in some type of similar fashion, but Lamar Jackson, make no mistake, athletically, Lamar Jackson is a 4.34 40. This is what he was clocked. Jaden Daniels is a 4.5 40. So number one, they're not even the same speed. Though some people are like act as if he's as fast as Lamar. Now I get it that Jaden Daniels has rushed for over 900 yards this year. That is impressive. However, Jaden Daniels runs more than any quarterback in the league. He runs at an 11% clip. So every 10 times this dude go back, he's taking off like once. This is just, what he does. He's running more than any other quarterback. So, of course, you're going to have more yards. Now, his athleticism is overrated. They also overrate, his effectiveness actually. Well, listen, you know what? I ain't going to do that. I'm going to let whatever y'all want to believe, I'm going to let y'all go ahead and believe that shit. You know why? Because it's the same stuff we were hearing about C.J. Stroud last year, right? This dude, Greg Jennings, on TV, he's talking about C.J. Stroud is the second best quarterback at the Patrick Mahomes, right? This is what he was saying last year. Now, all of a sudden, he want to act like he ain't never said that people just talking crazy, right? So these are the types of people that we're dealing with. So I realize that. I'm a little different. To me, a rookie, he's a rookie. That's just what he is. Now, is he having a good rookie season? I'm gonna have to put you on mute a little bit. You got a lot of little background noise, too. It's time. So let the dude just grow as a quarterback. Yes, he's having he has a good season. But these guys are talking like they've never seen a rookie be as good as he is. Like this is stuff I'm hearing. I'm hearing one dude say that this is the greatest rookie season he's ever seen. He's the best rookie he's ever seen in any sport. This is what he said about Jaden Daniels. I'm like, did you see Earl Campbell? All right, I ain't even go back that far to Earl Campbell because some of y'all like this old nigga just bringing up stuff we ain't never heard. Okay. Did you see? All right, now let's understand. Eric Dickerson, the dude that Saquon Barkley broke his record. Eric Dickerson ran for like 1,900 yards as a rookie, right? That's just number one. How about Randy Moss? I know maybe some of y'all not too old for that. That was in 1998. Randy Moss's rookie year. Like, he thinks that Jaden Daniels' rookie season better than Randy Moss's. C.J. Stroud last year is arguably had a better rookie season. This is just what I'm saying. So, like, they need to pump the brakes on this kid, man. Because what's about to happen is they're going to go to Detroit and they're going to get ran out the damn building. I'm 100% sure of that. So right now, Washington Commanders are an 8.5 point underdog going into Detroit. And maybe I would take Washington with the points. That's the most I would do. But there's no way they're beating the Detroit Lions. I think the Commanders, the Redskins, are about a year or two away, honestly. And I just don't think they really take that step. Now, if they do and they go shock the world, guess what? Philadelphia Eagles, if we can get past the Rams, would be glad, would be happy to welcome the Washington Redskins to the link. That's the team we would love to play. It's just that I don't think they're good enough to make it. What say you on this game as far as Washington Redskins and Detroit Lions?
My heart want Washington to win so we can crush them. I'm sure Washington fans, all the trash they've been talking for the last couple of weeks since they beat us with the those fake backup, you know. But I think Detroit going to roll Washington. I think they're going to wake Washington up to a rude awakening. You know, I think Washington has been really fortunate, this season, and that's good. They had a good season, but I think the buck stopped there. And Detroit going to show them what is the difference between a rookie quarterback and a veteran that's been in the game for a while. I mean, I think Detroit defense is going to confuse, the young quarterback of Washington.
So tell me what you think of Daniels. What do you think of him? You think this is the greatest rookie you ever saw?
No, not at all. See,
Do you think he's top?
We've been impressed by rookies before. We have been, and then in the second year, the reality sets in because the defense have a little bit more time to plan for them and study for them. So we've been through this before with rookies. They've been good in their first year. At the end of the day, I think reality is going to set in this week. And starting next year, he's going to come back to the back. Come back to the back.
Real rap, this is a question though, right? Do you think he was better than RG3 rookie year? Remember that? RG3 was a beast.
So I give him that. He won 12 games and lost 5. So I give him that. RG3, his rookie year was exciting. It really was, but I think it was. I think it was. I think it was better. RG3. I think it was. I think he can throw the ball better than RG3. I think that's one thing that he can do. He's not just a runner.
Let me see, man. Because I remember RG3 had a hell of a rookie year. So I remember him and Andrew Luck was real close. Matter of fact, they were actually not that different. It's kind of close. RG3 he passed for 3,200 yards, 65.5% completion, 15 games, 8.1 average, 8.1 yards per attempt, 20 touchdowns, 5 picks. It's very similar. And RG3 ran for 815 yards, whereas Jaden Daniels ran for a little over 900. You really look at it, it was very similar. It was interesting. Because Jaden Daniels did not light the world on fire with his stats. He just had a lot of come from behind victories. That's that's the thing I'll give him.
Almost 1,000 yards rushing. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah. They both did. They both did. He runs a lot. So anyway, we both picked the Lions on that. You kind of want the Commanders, and I want the Commanders to get their ass kicked personally. All right, so of course, in the next is the Eagles game, but we will go to the Ravens Bills first for obvious reasons. All right, so this is the toughest game for me, for real. I've been going back and forth with this one. I really don't. This one's tough, man. and Vegas is indicating that it's tough. The Bills are the home team. The Bills are favored by 1.5 points. So that's almost saying that it's a Baltimore line. All right. So if any of you want to go with conventional wisdom, if you're taking any bets for this particular game, I would take Baltimore money line. That's pretty much what this is telling you. The over under is 51 points. I can see going over. Um, yeah, I can see going over that. Buffalo puts up a lot of points. Baltimore also puts up a lot of points. Uh, I would say Baltimore has the better defense of the two teams, but you know, uh, Josh Allen is known a bit to score on good defenses, so it's very interesting here. Um, mm, in my mind, I'm thinking Buffalo wins. Okay, but I would not be surprised if Baltimore wins. I get where Vegas is coming from with the whole thing. So, like I said, if you the money's in betting Baltimore money line. All right, that's the money's in that. But I can kind of see, damn, that's gonna be crazy, man. That game. That's gonna be. I expect that to be the highest scoring game probably of the weekend. Baltimore, man, Josh Allen and Lamar are gonna put on a show. So, but I say I like Buffalo in the game officially. But if you're betting, the money's on Ravens money line. What say you?
Um, this game is that hard for me. And I believe that Lamar is on the mission. I believe that Josh Allen is not ready right now. He don't have the receivers to get it done. I believe Lamar got the receivers, the running. I think he's going to run. That's what's going to make him head over heels above to get it done. I think he's going to run for a lot of yards. And I think he's going to get past this hurdle, and he's going to set up that rematch with Kansas City that everybody looking forward to. But I think Buffalo's going to realize they need weapons. They can't just power through the NFL with just sheer, quarterback being amazing. You got to get weapons. You got to do something about that. I think they're going to realize that this game. I think they're going to put up a value effort, but I think that Baltimore going to beat maybe 34-23.
You think Baltimore's going to dominate what the Bills
Yes. Yes. I think it's going to be close, first half, but I think Baltimore are going to pull away in the second half.
in Buffalo?
I think Buffalo they need weapons to keep up with these type of teams. I think Lamar's going to run this game. I think that's going to be the difference. Him and Beast Mode guy in the backfield, they're gonna get it done.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can't. I couldn't see that any more different. But I hear you. All right. So next, final. Of course, last but absolutely positively not least, we got the Philadelphia Eagles uh, versus the Rams. Okay. All right. It should be Rams versus Eagles. The Eagles are the home team, of course. My mistake there. Okay. What do we have here? We have a Philadelphia Eagles team that is week in and week out shown to have the best defense in the NFL. A team that I think has proven to be the most physical team in the National Football League. When you look at taking on Baltimore, when you look at taking on Pittsburgh, and the type of dominance that we've seen against both of those teams, and I'm not talking about what's always spelled out in the scoreboard. I'm talking about the physicality that takes place. That physicality was on display no more than where we saw the Philadelphia Eagles go into LA, and for Saquon Barkley to run over 250 yards on the ground and 300 all-purpose yards in that game. I think this is a horrible matchup for the Rams. I think we Philadelphia Eagles really are. I think the difference in talent is stark. I do like what the Rams have on the defensive end. I like Verse and I like the other one, but I also like what the Philadelphia Eagles have on the end in Mailata and Lane Johnson. Those guys I think are extremely undersized. I think the run game, the Eagles are going to come with a run game that's going to be. I mean, it's one thing to desire to stop something, to focus on something, and it's a completely different situation to have the ability to stop a ground game. And I just don't think the Rams have the personnel to do it. The great Aaron Donald is not going to walk through that door. Um, I I just don't see anything that's an outcome that's much different from what I've seen before. Now I've heard some of the arguments seen last time rather. Now I've heard some of the arguments from everywhere from guys like a Dan Orlovsky who believe was very high on the Rams. I think Matthew Stafford is just a close friend of his. They were both quarterbacks in Detroit, so I think some of that bias comes out through that. His belief in McVay and Sean McVay being creative, doing creative plays and all that stuff all over the place. And trust me, I do like all that kind of stuff. I rather we had a McVay myself over who we have, to be honest with you. But I don't think it'll be enough because on one hand, McVay will be doing his thing, but then the Eagles have what? The McVay stopper. And his name is Vic Fangio. We know this going back to the 2018 season, I believe it was 2018, when the Rams first made it to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff as the quarterback and McVay as the coach. What happened was McVay ran into a Bill Belichick, okay, who at the time was credited with being a genius. But what we have come to find out is that all Bill Belichick did was he took and implemented a scheme that he saw Vic Fangio implement against them earlier in that season when Vic Fangio was the coach of the Chicago Bears. He put together a scheme that had not only confounded Jared Goff but also confounded Sean McVay. McVay actually feels more responsible for that than Goff. There's a lot of people don't know. He's never lived that down. That happened to him. He's actually mentioned that. Okay, so that same Vic Fangio will be showing up within 11 men that are better than the 11 men McVay has. I just don't. I don't see what the Rams are going to possibly do. Okay. Now, not to go off on a tangent, but I want to mention a few other things related to the Philadelphia Eagles that have been going on this week. Okay. All right. So, number one, and I need to make this clear as I need everybody to see this and understand what I'm about to talk about here. And this is about Coach Nick Sirianni. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Philadelphia Eagles right now have won 15 games this season and counting last week's playoff game. Okay, so you're talking about a 14-3 season. And because we're 14-3, I have not gone on and talked much about Vic Fangio. I'm sorry, about Nick Sirianni. Anyone who follows the channel in any capacity for any amount of time knows that I have never been a fan of Nick Sirianni's. Okay, Nick Sirianni came to the team 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 2021, right? And going on 4 years now. And ever since the first 4 games of that season, I was out on Nick Sirianni. Okay, or 6 games, whatever it was. The Philadelphia Eagles, I think, were 2-6 or something ridiculous of this nature to start the season. Okay, and it wasn't just that the Eagles lost. I can accept losses. It was the things I saw being called and things I saw being done within those first 6 games that pretty much set the stage for how I will probably always view this guy. Okay, he's not the type of coach that's good to me at the chess game that happens between coaches. I don't see that. I don't think he understands. He may be learning a little bit now, but I don't think he understands the importance of the proper run-pass ratio. I don't think he understands play designing in a way where, to do this run based on this look that leads into this pass based on this look, X's and O's, all of those different things. In my opinion, I don't think Nick Sirianni is good at that at all. Okay. There was a game though in his first season where we played the Dallas Cowboys, okay, in Philadelphia. This guy, Nick Sirianni, does not call a running play. Listen to me now. He does not call a running play until halfway through the second quarter of the effing game. Let me say that again. Nick Sirianni in a game against the Dallas Cowboys did not call a running play. This is when he was calling the games. He did not call a running play until the second quarter of that game. They had midway through the second quarter. That, to me, was egregious. Egregious. There was a game where the Philadelphia Eagles had played against the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. This was Nick Sirianni was calling the plays. Nick Sirianni at halftime, okay? This is halftime of the game. Patrick Mahomes, if you looked at his stats, had attempted 12 passing attempts. Okay, this is Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes at halftime attempted 12 passing attempts. Okay? Jalen Hurts under Nick Sirianni at halftime had attempted 26 passes. Okay? I'm done. I was done with him. Okay? He's an idiot. He's a fool. Does not know how to call plays and all that. Okay. That's just my opinion of him now. Okay. What we found out was when Nick Sirianni gives the responsibility of play calling to an offensive coordinator, when he delegates that, the Philadelphia Eagles then get better play calls, get better results, and they start to win. When the winning is happening, I'm the type of guy that sits back and lets it fly. I'm not going to sit and still talk crazy about Sirianni when they're winning. But don't mistake this for me understanding, still believing, still seeing what the hell is going on with him, and losing sight of who he really is. Right? I know who he really is when it comes to that. All right. Now, we didn't see the foolishness with him in 2022 because he never, in 2022, which was the next following season. I'm going to get to my point. Some of y'all, I see you get frustrated, but I'm going to talk. All right. So, in 2022, Shane Steichen is the offensive coordinator the whole time. This is Jalen Hurts' second year in that offense they were running. He comes out gangbusters. All right, everybody knows the Eagles won their first 10 games or first 8 games, something like that. That's the year we're going to the Super Bowl. The stupidity of the coaching staff does not get put on display until the actual Super Bowl. This is where Nick Sirianni was exposed, as well as his fraudulent defensive coordinator at the time, Jonathan Gannon. Okay. The defense did not get one stop on the Chiefs in a whole second half. Nick Sirianni starts to clinch up, tense up. Earlier in the year, he's this aggressive guy, goes for it on fourth down, all these different things. When he's in this situation now, he's scared to go for it. It was a whole bunch of stuff that we saw. Andy Reid is running one play that works to the right. He does the same damn play to the left. He toyed with him in that fourth quarter. I will never forget that about Nick Sirianni. But I'm willing to chalk it up to your first time in that big spot. I saw Andy Reid his first time in the big spot. Of course, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I saw all of Andy Reid's coaching here. So I was willing to give him a pass a little bit, somewhat. All right, now that brings us to this year. The reason I'm bringing all of this up is because what's happening now locally in Eagles talk sports, okay, in Philadelphia right now. There is this motion, and then there's this movement, there's this train of thought that somehow Nick Sirianni is a top coach in the NFL. Okay? And This is what I will be pushing back against. Um, and this is mostly being pushed by local individuals who are Jalen Hurts haters, right? Who are just determined to not like Jalen Hurts, determined to not give Hurts any credit for anything. All right, so the Hurts hate is intricately connected with this new Nick Sirianni love. Right, there's this push right now, like in local daily news, they're saying extend him right now, lock Nick Sirianni up. Nick Sirianni has one more year on his contract. Okay, Eagles have not offered him an extension, but now there's a push from these guys for Nick Sirianni to be extended. This is my opinion on that. Nick Sirianni should not be extended until we see what he does in the Super Bowl. Till we see if he wins or loses the Super Bowl and how he wins or loses also plays a part. If he looks like a buffoon, if the team looks unprepared, all these types of things, there's no way he should be extended. He just had to play his last year. And we see what he does. That's his last chance. That's my opinion on it, and it's for a number of reasons. Number one, okay, this is for all you Eagle fans, whatever, who need to see this and kind of understand. Okay. What does Nick Sirianni actually do? What does he actually do? Right. To be fair, this is what I think he does. I believe Nick Sirianni is a guy that is the equivalent of like a good motivational speaker or a good personal trainer. You know, like the personal trainer is the guy that you hire in order to help you with your self-esteem, help you to believe that you can do what you can't do. I think he's good at that. I think he's good at finding, wise quotes from sages from years past yonder. And I think he's good at pulling quotes from books and shit like that he heard a talk from Zig Ziglar or Les Brown or one of these other, motivational speakers. And I think he brings this stuff to the team. And I think the guys like him. He's cool. He's a player's coach type of guy. I think all of these types of things have their value. I think they have their value. That's one of the pros to maybe a guy like Nick Sirianni. But what are the cons? What are the cons? The cons are you're putting in place a guy that has no actual specialization that is needed. And what types of problems does this lead to? This leads to the Philadelphia Eagles year in and year out, being in a situation where they're dependent on a play caller outside of the head coach being the guy that the success or failure of the offense is going to rely on. Okay, and that the coach, Nick, can't step in and do it in the event that we are without the play caller. Okay, to put it real simple, when the Eagles have a good offensive coordinator and a good play caller, the team is doing well. When they have a bad one, the team is struggling. Right now, we have a situation where we were able to win 14 games this year because Kellen Moore calls the plays. Now, think what you want about Kellen Moore. One thing he is he's better than Nick Sirianni. And I know that because we saw Nick Sirianni for 8 games in his first year. Once he gave it up, the Eagles go on a winning streak. His first 8 games, we went 2-5, something like 2-6. He gives up the play calling to Shane Steichen. Eagles go on a winning streak, end up winning 8 or 9 games. They go to the playoffs. The next season, he's doing no play calling. Philadelphia Eagles win 13 games, end up in the Super Bowl. The following year, the play calling goes to a guy named Brian Johnson, and then we find out Nick Sirianni actually was doing a lot of the play calling himself and putting together the game plans. So a lot of the stupid ass plays you saw the Eagles doing last year, wide receiver screens with skinny ass Devontae Smith being a lead blocker, just no vertical game, the least amount of motion being used in the NFL, the least amount of pre-snap stuff. All of that stuff is Nick Sirianni's offense. We saw it on display last year, and it all came to a halt when the Philadelphia Eagles just went on one of the worst slides I've ever seen after a team going to 10-1 in my life. And we find out that Nick Sirianni was the mastermind behind the whole thing. Okay? Why is this relevant now? Right now, Kellen Moore has been interviewed, who's the offensive coordinator of the Eagles, by 3 different teams. I believe one is the Saints. I believe one is the Jags, and the other is the friggin' Dallas Cowboys. So now you got Jerry Jones trying to find a way to just cause a fucking distraction with the Eagles. Right? For those of you who don't know, Jerry Jones really hates the Philadelphia Eagles. Like, for real. Okay? I've heard of some. There was an NFL executive, right, who had a conversation with Jerry Jones one time in an elevator somewhere, right, and the stuff he was saying about the Eagles and Philadelphians was just crazy. All right, so now this guy has now he want to act like he want to interview Kellen Moore now right before we have a game in the divisional round. So this is problematic on a number of levels. Number one, I hear that the Philadelphia Eagles could actually block him from doing these interviews. Jeffrey Lurie's not, and Howie Roseman are not. They're allowing Kellen Moore to go ahead and do these interviews. All right. Nick Sirianni podcast, they asked him about Kellen Moore going and interviewing with the Cowboys and all of this kind of stuff, and he had no problem with it. Why am I? And I'm not surprised. Of course, Nick Sirianni don't give a damn. He want damn well Nick Sirianni wants Kellen Moore the hell out of here as soon as he can get him out of here. Why? Because that guy is always a threat to his job because he has a skill set that you lack, right? So earlier on WIP, they talking about, Nick Sirianni's such a nice guy. He's such a selfless guy. Nigga, him not caring about Kellen Moore going to do interviews is so not selfless. That's completely just about him hoping that this dude gets hired so that he doesn't have a threat to his job. If you don't see it that way, I don't know your logic, okay? Because when you fail at a particular thing, like Nick Sirianni did last year, and the owner and the general manager, your boss, brings in another guy to help you with your offense, you want to get that dude the fuck out of here. Like, that's just human nature, right? So I'm not surprised at that. Now, do I think this is a problem with the Eagles? I don't know. It could be. But I still think we beat the Rams. But what I'm tired of hearing is this Nick Sirianni is this top coach stuff right now. He got a lot to prove for that. And I still got the question, what does he do? What does he do to be a top coach? And then what happens? Kellen Moore leaves. Now you got to hire another play caller, which is going to be another guy, just another guy that Jalen Hurts now, or another offense that Jalen Hurts has to learn because the fucking coach doesn't have an offense, or the offense he does have is trash. And as we saw last season. So yeah, I'm not with that with the Nick Sirianni stuff. Okay. Nick Sirianni, in my opinion, is just the recipient, or he's the beneficiary of an extremely talented roster, okay, with blue chip players, and it's been proven, right? Guys guys who watch film, like whether it's Chris Canty, whether it's even Dan Orlovsky, they're constantly pointing out how vanilla the offense is. And I like, for the life of me, I am trying to understand, how do you still have a vanilla offense? How? After what happened last year, how do you still have a vanilla offense? You know what? I'm gonna just move on to the damn pick. Okay, Philadelphia Eagles are a 6-point favorite against the Rams. I say Philadelphia Eagles, and I say win, and I say the Philadelphia Eagles cover. I was going to talk a little bit more about Jalen Hurts. I won't, unless you want to, but the floor is yours, sir. That's all I got to say.
Um, I've been going back and forth with this game all week. Um, Back and forth as do I want the Eagles? Do I think the Eagles going to crush them, or do I think we're going to have a close game? I'm leaning more that we're going to crush them than the close game, honestly, because I think we got two things that they can't deal with. Number one, um, Sean McVay openly said that he has issues with big, big, big Fangio defense, and we clearly seen that last time with 5 sacks. The quarterback couldn't do anything with the defense, and they're not good against the run because they're a smaller defense. They're on the smaller side. So no way are they going to be able to deal with this big offensive line. Um, they gave up 250 yards. Even if they gave up, let's say they gave up 160, it's a definite loss. If they give up 100 yards less, they still want to lose by a touchdown. So I got us beating them 30-14. It's not going to even be a game. It's not going to even be a game. I think Jalen Hurts going to throw for 2 touchdowns, and he's going to run for one, and Saquon going to run for one. So, and it's going to be in the outside. It's like it's too many things going against them, and they played Monday night, so they're not going to be as rested as they should have been. It's like it's too many factors that's going against them, and they had to travel across the country, to play different. It's just too many things working against them. Too many things. So I got the Eagles beating them 30-14.
All right. Yeah, I can't see us losing to them either. You have anything you want to say about what's going on with all the other stuff, Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni, all of a sudden, because I think the Nick Sirianni thing is like this. The people who want to find a reason to believe that the Eagles are going to lose. And I'm talking about so-called Eagles fans. What they're doing is they're painting the picture that everything around Jalen Hurts is perfect. The team and the coach. And if they lose, that way they can blame everything squarely on him. That's what I think.
I think it's a conflict of interest to allow your. I think he could interview anybody other than the Cowboys because they in a division with us, and that's a direct conflict of interest. Number one, because like, what if hypothetically, he go to the Cowboys and the Cowboys saying, he interviewing, he said, "Do you think y'all got a good chance to win the Super Bowl?" And Kellen Moore was like, "Yeah, I think we got a great chance." He said, "So if you don't, what do you think would be some of the things to be the issues with y'all not winning the Super Bowl?" You see what I'm saying? Things like that. Why would he get into that? If I'm Jerry Jones, just pick on their offense or their defense or their weaknesses and things like that. Because he obviously he can talk to whatever they want to talk about. And if I'm Jerry Jones, I say something like, if the Eagles didn't win Super Bowl, I'd definitely make you the head coach. Like things like that. I think that's what happened with Arizona did to the defensive coordinator. Why not? He talking to this guy. So I don't agree with him talking to the Cowboys at all. You can talk to anybody but other than the person that is like you said, Jerry Jones, he hates the Eagles. So why would he not try to sabotage anything? Yeah, I mean, he could just be interviewing this guy.
And if that's the type of stuff that's going on, the Eagles are stupid. If that's the case. But this is interesting though. Cliff Kingsbury, who's Jaden Daniels' offensive coordinator, he being interviewed too. But the Cliff Kingsbury thorough. This is what he said. Cliff Kingsbury said, "I'm not taking any interviews until the Commander season is up." That's what he said. You got Kellen Moore though different, so that makes me look at Kellen Moore kind of sideways. Like what's up with this dude? I mean, Kingsbury, dude, like teams will wait for him. You know what I mean? Because they'll wait to get him. He's more of a higher commodity than Kellen Moore. Like matter of fact, if I'm the Eagles, I'd be like, I'm gonna go ahead, Kellen Moore, you can roll, and I'll talk to Cliff Kingsbury. And just think about it. How's that going to affect Jaden Daniels next year? You know what I mean? So those are things to look out for. Because
What is so
that's like,
difficult? Why is it so difficult for the Eagles to tell him to wait? You know, because I don't think Washington want Cliff Kingsbury to be interviewing while he's in the middle of the playoff run. I think he said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm happy to be. I'm not after the season. He should have did the same thing.
yeah.
So I think the Eagles going to be up sideways just because he did that. I don't think he's going to be back next year just because of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain he ain't gonna be back. Yeah, honestly.
But the Eagles need to I don't understand why won't they put their foot down and say no. Interview after the season. They
They
well
must
within
not
their right to do that. You
they must not fear
for
what
what?
you fear in terms of like, the Jerry Jones sabotage. Like I don't really buy that either, but they must not fear that, That's the only thing I can think of. But if something like that is going on, then yeah, they're dumb. You know. They're just really
I'm
stupid.
saying the fact that he's distracted. Like this is what I'm saying. Teams that usually focus on the team in the playoffs, they are 24/7 looking for opportunities to beat that team. You're traveling all over the place with different teams. That eliminate half of your time trying to focus on the next opponent.
Well, this is what Nick Sirianni said. Even though I think Nick Sirianni wants him going anyway, just because he's a threat to him. That's honestly what I believe. But he said that he said like even when he said during the week, the coaches have like days off or whatever. Like so he'll do his interviews like on his already scheduled days off. You know what I mean? That's why he don't really, care or whatever. So I'm like, whatever. We'll see.
Days off, they still be studying at the office. They know that. They
I
like you
mean,
said, Nick Sirianni probably want him to go anyway.
yeah, threat.
I don't like Jalen Hurts getting another offensive coordinator next year. I don't like none of it, honestly.
Yeah, but that's always going to be a problem as long as you got a coach like Sirianni. It's crazy. I want to go to some of these comments here real quick. So we got Jared Thomas who says Bills beat Ravens. Yeah, I can see that. Rams upset Eagles because of AJ Brown crashing out. Yeah, right. So Rams will beat the Eagles because AJ Brown crashes out. That's a lot. That's putting a lot of weight on AJ Brown, and then why would he wait to crash out in the divisional round of the playoffs? Chiefs blow out Texans. Yeah, could definitely see that. And Lions blow out Commanders. Yeah, I can see that. Eagles get upset because of AJ Brown crashing out. Come on, bro. All right. The next time the Rose played, not on that yet, but we'll get to that in a second. I don't think Texans can score enough to beat KC. They can, however, put pressure on Mahomes on the edges with Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, but it won't be enough. Agreed. Chiefs tackles are god awful, so they will be able to get some edge pressure. I mean, he did just play the Texans not too long ago, kind of whooped them. But in theory, I get what you're saying. Herbert just won't stop choking. Yep, that's what he is. I do believe that Jaden Daniels is next up. He's shown crazy clutchness to him as still a rookie year though. It's still rookie season, and he might be, but right now the stuff they're saying is ridiculous. Braden Costy says, "I just think Hurts needs to play better, and the defense needs to stop missing tackles." The defense needs to stop missing tackles. What did I miss? Did the Eagles miss an extraordinary amount of tackles that they haven't before or something? I don't know what I missed there. Hurts needs to play better. Yeah, if you say so. All right. Let's see what else we got here. All right. So the thing that many have come here to listen to. I know uh, was the Unrivaled League. All right, so tonight was the first game, the opening night of Unrivaled. We definitely gonna talk about it. Yes, we are. All right, so now first for the overall product. I thought the presentation was really good. You know, it was good that they got to have this thing, shown and streamed on Max, as well as TNT. That's good. It was a good look to get, the great Candace Parker to do the coverage, at the desk, along with the other player. Forgive me for forgetting her name. But all of that, I thought it looked really good. I thought the presentation was really good. I liked the way they showed the introduction to the players. All of that was hot. I like that, and that's very important when you're doing something. So I was a little bit concerned about whether or not it would look a little cheesy, that kind of stuff. You gotta do it right. I don't know what their ratings look like yet. I guess we'll find that out later. Okay. Now, as far as the actual gameplay, I thought was fascinating. I had no idea what it would look like. I did hear that it was a full court basketball. It was full court basketball play, but on a smaller, um, court. Uh, that was a great touch. I'm glad it wasn't the classic 3-on-3, half court where one team has to take it out, and when you scored, you got to go back to the foul line and all of that kind of stuff. It's a good thing that it wasn't that. I thought the gameplay was very good, um, very fast. I wouldn't be surprised like if men do some form of it. This is the first time I've ever seen 3-on-3 in this type of form, full court 3-on-3, and it actually is quite entertaining. The spacing is just bananas. You know, players like the one-on-one players, like with all the talent and all the skills that have all the moves, they I think are at an extreme advantage. And tonight was just the first night you saw some of those types of players really take advantage. The first game you saw Jewel Lloyd. This is the game between the Owls and the Lunar Owls. And the Mist. The Mist are a team that I think are going to be very dangerous. They did lose. They lost this game tonight, but the Mist really played very well. They have a good mixture of defensive players and firepower. You're talking about Brianna Stewart, one of the best two-way players. Uh, I mean, really practically unstoppable by herself in the open court, whether it's ISO, whatever you want to do. Brianna Stewart has it all. You put Jewel Lloyd with her, a player that she played with for a number of years in Seattle. That's a very explosive team. Both of them are stellar defenders. Then when you add Dejanay Carrington, who is probably maybe the best one-on-one defender on the ball defender in that league. And then I was watching her tonight. She's really great off the ball, great help defender. She's just like ridiculous on defense. Then you add Rakia Jackson, who I think will be. I mean, she's right now a scorer that when she gets hot, she practically looked almost unstoppable at a certain point. She had a little. She struggled to get off early on. I was kind of telling people as we were watching, don't worry about her, she'll get it. But once she got rolling, she was really rolling, and she can also play defense. Right now, from the teams I've seen, that Mist team I think appears to be the most dangerous. Like I said, I know they lost tonight. Really by some heroics by Skylar Diggins at the end. Great theatrics with the whole thing. I think that's exactly what they needed, and again, and end like that. This game had a lot of intriguing storylines. First, obviously, you'll have Collier versus Stewart, who just battled for the WNBA championship this year. And they're also co-owners or co-founders, at least, of the league. So you have that intrigue there. That was good. But then you also had a serious battle going on between Joe Lloyd and Skylar Diggins Smith. For those who don't know, they're teammates on the Seattle Storm, and there's a lot of rumors and controversy going on right now because Jewel Lloyd wants to leave. I mean, she played said that she wanted to leave, and her backcourt mate Diggins, um, they faced each other tonight. So that was uh, that was very interesting, and that was smart for them to actually uh, pit those two against each other. That was a good move, and that was entertaining for sure. There's times, I mean, they was guarding each other, blocking shots, all of that. It looks like there's something going on there. To all the rumors that they don't like each other, you could clearly see that in that game. That was that was really good. So like I said, the Owls pulled it out by some heroics by Skylar, but uh, that missed team I think is very dangerous, and I think however their championship is going to work, I don't know how they're going to have the playoffs and all of that stuff works in this new league, but that missed team is very dangerous, and they're one of the picks I would think to at least make it very far in the finals. They just have a a great mixture of firepower and defense. Anytime you're talking about Stewie, um, Carrington, and like Ricky Jackson, like playing defense like that, they're going to be very formidable. Um, very formidable. Watch out for them. All right, and then in game two, we had a game between the Vinyl and the Rose, and Rose is the team that has Angel Reese as well as uh, Chelsea Gray, and it's a team that I got to say I'm concerned with. I did not think they would beat the Vinyl tonight. When I looked at the players that the Vinyl have, the Vinyl team, man, is going to be the other dangerous team because of the amount of firepower that they have. You're talking about Enrique, Gumbawale, you're talking about Ryan Howard from the Atlanta Dream. Just those two players, just the amount of firepower they'll provide. You're talking about two plus 20-point scorers who are three-level scorers. Um, I predicted before, when we first talked about this game, I think Enrique, this is too easy for her, this particular league. All that space with someone with her type of game, straight street game, I think she'll dominate. She had a modest, I think, 10 points tonight, something like that. But when needed, she could score. Tonight, they pretty much showcased Ryan Howard for the most part, who had the second most points scored tonight, which was 27. Jewel Lloyd, of course, put up 30 points in her game, so she had the most points scored by everybody. Far as the rookies, Andrews played well. 10 points, 3 of 7, 2 of 2. But when I looked at summer game, they got to work on some things, of course. Um, in my opinion, she was doing a little bit too much stuff in the open court, a little bit too much ball handling. Now, I don't need to see her never ball handle. I heard, I think Lisa Leslie was covering the game, and she kind of said she's going to learn that, give the ball to the point guard right away. And I mean, I don't think it has injury to go that far, where she always gives the ball to the point guard, because like you'll never get better unless you try things out there. Um, she tried her I saw her shoot a mid range shot once, and she made it. That was good. I thought she probably could have done a few more mid range shots. Um, Now she was up against Aaliyah Boston a lot of the time, and that's always tough competition. I mean, so uh, I don't know. I just the way Rose did, the way that team is built. Now they have Khalid Copper, who's the main probably source of firepower in the team, and Chelsea Gray, who's the point guard. Um, I just don't know if they really most nights would beat a team like the Vinyl or beat a team like the Mist, who can just score points. They have players that can just score points at will. Whereas when you look at the Rose, they have um, you have Khalid Copper, but who's the other elite scorer on the team? You know, we talk about Andrew Reese, he's mostly going to be defense. We talk about Chelsea Gray, though she can score, is going to be mostly playmaking that you get her for. You know, just my opinion on that. But like I said, two good games, very competitive, very passionate. They really went at it. I enjoyed watching it for the most part. So no complaints there. I think the gameplay, like I said, is good. I'm glad they went with the full court look. Half court, I think, would have looked. I think the half court thing is probably the problem that I have with the other the 3-on-3 league that Ice Cube does. Um, it's that half court. Then they got the goofy 4-point shot and all of that kind of stuff. I don't like goofy stuff like that. So congratulations, to the ladies. Going out there, starting this league, and what I think was a successful first night. I don't know what the ratings look like, of course, yet. That hasn't been released yet, but congratulations to them for doing that. I think it was a good show for the most part, and let's see. I know we had some comments on the game here. Built Hands On says the next time the Rose play the Vinley, they will blow the Vinyl. They will blow Vinyl out. They do have to shoot a 3-point shot and jump shot that she has been working on. Overall, good game. Yeah, see, I hear you. I don't know if they'll blow Vinyl out. I don't know about that part. I don't know that they have. I don't know if they're a good matchup for them. Built Hands On says the Rose Crew should have left Angel in the game, regardless of her foul trouble. The next game, Angel will play better, and they will blow the Vinyl. Andrews to shoot a jumper she work on. Yeah, I agree. She does have to shoot a jumper. She has to. I think she has to do less ball handling. Turning the ball over too much. And then some of the ball handling problems she's having while posted up. She's gotta tighten some of that stuff up. You know what I mean? And cut down the turnovers. There were a number of turnovers. There were a number of bad passes that took place by both teams, though. But these things will get better. You're talking about players who are not accustomed to playing together, so that'll happen. Then you got young players being schooled by some of the older players. Overall, this will be good for a game, And like I said, man, the whole point is to be entertained, and where we're not entertained, I would say it was entertaining, without a doubt. So tomorrow they have a couple of more games coming on tomorrow. We'll cover those, a little bit more in depthly. But right now, like I said, the team I'm picking, so far, I like the way the Mist looked, and though they lost, and I like the way Vinyl looked. I would like to see those teams play each other. You know. All right, so I think we'll wind it down here pretty much. This was a late one. So they say appreciate everybody for coming out. Everybody participated, has something to say, or just listened to, and so on. And we will be looking to go live again probably Sunday. But look out tomorrow. I'll be going live. I'll be shooting a show going live from an actual studio tomorrow night. Mine and a friend of mine are going to discuss some sports. So just look out for that. It'll be somewhere around 5 in the evening. All right. So as I see you guys then, peace out.